Yeah. So we're going to start off. There's 4 of you. So I'm just going to ask each of you to pick one for me to go over, and we'll go over that together. And then if there's any left over that I want to show you guys, we'll do that as well. So I'll just start. We'll just go, Anya. What problem would you like me to do? So each of you are going to have to start.
Number 12.
Number 12. Awesome. So if you look at number 12, this is unique because 3, 4, and 5, do those have I think I have this over here. Do 3, 4, and 5 have a GCF?
No.
No. So now we're looking at only the variables. So when I look at the variables here, when I start with the X, what's the lowest X that we have? The lowest power?
XO 4x.
Yeah. So we have X to the 4th. So we get X to the 4th for each of these is the GCF. And then what's your Y GCF?
Y5.
Yeah, Y to the 5th. So that's your GCF. And then, so we get X4, Y5. And then now you can look to cross off. The X to the 4's cross off, the Y to the 5's cross off there. Nothing crosses off in the second term. If we look at the third term, the Y5's will cross off. So now the only thing left in the first term is a 3. The second term, you have a 4. And then what would you get for your variables, Anya?
Would it be?
So you have 5.
Y and
yeah. So
X.
yeah, just X to the first and then Y to the first, because there's 5 X's and you take away 4 of them, that leaves you with 1. And there's 6 Y's and you take away 5 of them, and that leaves you with 1.
Yeah.
Good. And then lastly, what do you have left on the third term?
X and just X.
And then the number 5, right?
Yeah.
Yep. That's it. Good. Really good job. Bill, I'm coming to you. Pick any problem on the whole page. I'm going to do one that you say.
Sorry, I have to open it.
Okay, take your time. Haley, do you have one?
24.
Yeah, 24. Woo, that's a tough one. It's big. All right, so we're looking here. What numbers go into 32 and 56? And this is one that we talked about yesterday where you could try out lower denominations, see how it comes out for you, if you want. What number do you think, Haley, we should start with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something in there?
3.
Okay, 3. So if we put 32 divided by 3, that does not come out evenly. If you want to try 4?
Yeah.
So if you do 32 divided by 4, that goes in 8 times, and then 56 divided by 4 would be 14 times. So you could do 4. You want to start there?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go 4. And then go to the M's, Haley. What's my GCF for the M's?
M to the 3rd.
Good. What's my GCF for the n's.
N to the second.
Good. And then for my p's,
P to the second.
good. And then how about the q's?
None.
Good. Great answer. So I'm going to rewrite this as 4m cubed n squared p squared. Now we're going to do our math. Before we do that, let's see what crosses out. If we look at the 32, that first term, the n squareds cross out. And if we go to the second term, we have the m's and then the p's crossed out. So 32 divided by 4 gives you 8. M to the 5. How many m's are left on this one, Haley?
N to the second.
Good. How many p's are left?
1.
Good. How many q's are left?
1.
Good. All right. What is 56 divided by 4?
14.
Good. How many n's are left?
2.
That's it. Now we look here, and it's not quite it because we look at our numbers. We have 8 and 14, right? What number is divisible by both 8 and 14?
2.
2. Yeah, so we could take this just one step further, and I'll show you how quick and easy it is. So we go 2. So if we took a 2 out, we need to multiply that 2 to the front number. What's 2 times 4?
8.
Yeah. So that gives us an 8, and then everything else stays the same. And then 8 divided by 2 gives you 4. Your variables stay the same. And then what's 14 divided by 2?
7.
Yeah. So that was a hard one because 32 and 56 are hard to find what that initial GCF is. So we took 4. And then once we did that, we saw, oh, 8 and 14, those are both divisible by 2. So we did that second step, which only takes a second. And then you're done. So great question. Glad you asked that one, Haley. Good job. Bill, did you get it open, bub?
Yeah.
Okay, what number would you like us to do together?
22.
22, right above it. Sounds good. All right, we're looking at 30 and 72. What is the GCF of 30 and 72?
6.
6, okay. So if we take 6, now let's look at your variables. What's your GCF for your X variable?
X2, Y3, Z4.
Okay, X2, your Y is 3, and then your Z is 4. All right, good. So I'm going to write this over here. 6 x squared, y cubed, and then z to the 4th. And then, Bill, in my first term, what can I cross out?
X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, that's a nice one, right? X, Y, and Z. And in my second term, what can I cross out? And it's a trick question.
None.
None, good. Okay, so let's look. 30 divided by 6 gives you
5.
5. Now you're done with that. That's it. You already crossed out all the variables. What's 72 divided by 6?
12.
Good. how many variables are left? If you take x3, take away 2, it gives you,
X,
good. How about your y's?
Y,
And then,
Z.
yeah, all of them are just to the first power. Awesome job, Bill. And last but not least, Jason Korn. What problem would you like us to do together?
$20.
20, we're going right up the road there. Okay. Good. What is the GCF of 36, 48, and 60? Or do you know any number? Go ahead, say it again. 6? Is that what you said? Okay, so let's put 6 in. And then how many X's, how many Y's are you for your GCF?
X cubed and Y squared.
Awesome. All right, so I'm going to rewrite it. And then I want you to go through, we'll go through each term. And I want you to tell me what crosses out for each term. Okay, so let's look at the first term. Can I cross anything out there?
Y squared.
Okay, second term, what could I cross out?
3 X's.
Good. And then the last term?
None of them.
Good. All right, so what's left? 36 divided by 6 is?
6.
6. And then we have an X. All right, what would I get for a second term?
$8.
Good. 8 what?
Y.
Good. And the third term?
-10.
Good. And then?
X squared and Y.
Good. And now you're going to notice, just like Haley's problem, what do you notice here? You have 6, 8, and -10. What number is divisible by each of these? Jason?
2.
Yeah, so we can take each of these, divide by 2. When you divide that by 2, we're going to take it and multiply the front. Everything else stays the same. So all you have to figure out is 6 times 2, and then you're done. What is 6 times 2? Jason?
12.
Good. So you get 12 x cubed y squared. 6 divided by 2 gives you 3x plus 4y. And then finally minus 5x squared y. So again, if you didn't pick out that 12 right away, that's fine. It only takes that little extra step at the end, and it probably will end up saving you more time. So that's totally fine for doing it that way. I want to just do one more with you. If everybody looks up to number 5. So we have 45, 27, 63. What number is factor, or can you go into each of these? Did anybody get this one? There is a GCF.
Is it 9?
9? No. Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, 9 is good.
Yep,
Nice job,
9
Anya.
is 9 is really good. Very, very good. Now, are there any variables here? Anya?
No.
No, good. So we take a 9 out. What's left when you take the 9 out?
5m minus 3n plus 7.
Good. Good. So today we are going to look at the same thing. We're just going to get a little bit more practice, and I'm going to send it over to Miss Kane.
If you want to go to Google Classroom, the worksheet just posted because I saw it pop up on Mr. King's screen. But just to show you where we're looking here. So it is the first post in the stream, Wednesday, March 10th, section 5.3 GCF review worksheet number 2. So that's the worksheet we're looking at. And when you pull it up, it'll look like this. There are 18 questions, and you're finding the GCF for each of these. Now, I will say there could be 1 or 2 that may not have a GCF. So if it doesn't, if you think there's only the number 1 that they're divisible by, then you can just say that it's not factorable. But just to look at one more problem with you, kind of reinforcing that they might not have a number in common, but instead they might have a variable in common. Number 3 says 4r cubed plus r to the 6th. So the first number has a 1, or the first term has a 1. The second term, let's go over again. The first term has a 4, the second term has a 1. And 4 and 1 aren't divisible by anything. So this doesn't have a GCF that's a number. But if you look at the variables, Bill, how many r's would they have in common? So how many r's could we take out as a GCF here, Bill?
3.
Yeah, so we could just take out r cubed, and that's it. So sometimes a GCF might just be a variable and not a number. And that's okay. They still have a GCF. You're still pulling something out. So using that cancel method, the r cubes canceled, and you're just left with a 4. And then our plus sign, the second term has 6 r's. Bill, you're dividing that or taking out 3 r's. How many are left then, Bill?
3.
Excellent. So this is what number 3 would look like. There is still a GCF, but it just is a variable. So kind of looking at the problems, I'd say number 17 is probably the most challenging of the bunch. Are there any that you see that you want to go over right now that you're thinking is a little different? Mr. King, do you notice any that we might want to go over?
I don't see any they're propping out.
All right. So today is
Maybe number 14 is a little bit different because how the first term will end up.
Yep. So looking at number 14, we'll do this one yet. X cubed plus 7x to the 4th minus 4x to the 5th. So starting with the numbers, that first term really has a 1 in front. If you like writing that 1 there, you can feel free to write that there just so you can see a number sitting there. Haley, are 1, 7, and -4 divisible by anything? Do they have the same number in common?
Only 1.
Only 1, yeah, they only have a 1 in common. How about, do they all have anything else in common?
X
How many x's?
to the third.
Excellent, yeah. So x cubed. So they just have a 1 numerically, but they do have an x cubed in common. So again, canceling this out, this is a little different here. So when our x cubes cancel, notice the number 1 is still sitting in front because every variable has a coefficient, even if it's not written. So we're going to write that number 1 inside the parentheses. So yes, the x's cancel, but the coefficient in front is a 1, and that still has to sit there. And then, Haley, what would be the middle term? 7x to the 4th divided by x cubed. What's left there?
7x
And then the last one?
minus 4x to the second.
Awesome. Nice job. And that one's another good one to look at. And that's special because of that x cubed totally canceling, but we still need to have a number in its place. All right, so if you want to remain on and ask any questions, now's your chance. This is like personalized question answer time. So if there's any other problems that you see that you'd like to go over, we can go over those. Otherwise, the rest of the problems are your homework. Very similar to the group of problems Mr. King just went over with you. You're finding the GCF, so taking out what they have in common. And then the other is just reminder, try and get any missing assignments submitted. So make sure you're submitting any missing assignments. And then if you're an 11th grader, the course scheduling ends today. So please make sure, if you haven't done so already, make sure you schedule for classes next year. Anyone have questions?